Hello dear students, I am Dr. Rushali Shamrao Shinde, working as an assistant professor in Department of Chemistry, KTHM College, Nasik. So student, today we are going to discuss topic from molecular symmetry, that is CHI 130, and the topic is symmetry elements and symmetry operations. So student, today we are going to discuss about two different operations from the symmetry, that is symmetry element and symmetry operations. So there are total 5 symmetry elements. There are 5 symmetry elements and we have to study its operations. Okay, so let's see one by one. So student, what is meant by symmetry? Symmetry is beauty of molecules and we can perform various functions or various operations through the symmetry. There are two important parts of symmetry, symmetry elements and symmetry operations. So the first element is identity. So it is denoted by E, that is identity, and its symmetry operation is 360-degree rotation. Second symmetry element is proper axis or principal axis, which is denoted by Cn, and its symmetry operation is rotation. Third one is plane of symmetry, its operation is reflection. Fourth one is center of symmetry, which is denoted by Ci, means inversion. Which is denoted by Ci, means inversion, its operation is inversion. And the last one is improper axis of rotation, which is denoted by Sn, means rotation followed by reflection, or we can say reflection followed by rotation. So these are the 5 different symmetry elements and its operations. So let's see first one, that is symmetry, that is identity. So what is meant by symmetry elements? So symmetry element means the point, the axis or the line over which symmetry operations is carried out. So this is nothing but the symmetry element. And what is meant by symmetry operations? It is the process which is carried out on molecule and which takes that molecule from one orientation to another equivalent orientation. Equivalent word is very important in case of symmetry operations. So let's see first one, that is identity. Identity is the symmetry element and its operation is a 360-degree rotation. Let's see the first example, that is NH3. We know the geometry of NH3. See, this is the NH3 and these are the 3 hydrogens which are attached to this nitrogen. So H1, H2 and H3. So identity means what? We have to rotate this molecule at 360-degree and identity is denoted by E. So after 360-degree rotation, the molecule will same, that is H1 is here, H2 is here and H3 is here. This is nothing but the identity. Identity operation or identity symmetry element is easy, means after 360-degree rotation, we get the same molecule, that is H1 is here, H2 is here and H3 is here. Okay, and the all molecules or all compounds show identity element. So next one, second one is proper axis. Proper axis or principal axis. Principal axis, which is denoted by Cn. What is meant by C and what is meant by N? So C is nothing but cyclic, N order of rotation. Order of rotation, and N is equal to 360 divided by theta. Okay, N is equal to 360 divided by theta. Let's see with example. The first example is water molecule. We know the shape of water molecule and the shape of water molecule is angular. So this is your water molecule. Now the question is that where is the proper axis or principal axis? So see, this is your water molecule and this is the center of this water molecule. So the proper axis or principal axis is passes from this center. Okay, this is your principal axis or proper axis. Now this is, there are two hydrogens which are attached to this oxygen. So H1 and H2. Now how to show the rotation? So it is in clockwise direction. This is your principal axis or proper axis and this is the sign of rotation in clockwise direction. This is your H1 and this one is H2. Okay, so see and now as the oxygen contains two hydrogen H1 and H2 means the degree of rotation the order of rotation is 2. The order of rotation is 2. How it is 2? Because two hydrogen atoms are joined with oxygen. So as I am saying that n is equal to 2, what is the theta? So theta is equal to 180 degree. So I have to rotate this molecule at 180 degree. So the first rotation is at 180 degree. But what is your proper axis or principal axis? Okay, so as this oxygen having two hydrogens, so obviously and 2 times rotations are possible. That's why C2 is your principal axis or proper axis. I again repeat, this is your C2 which is the principal axis or proper axis for this water molecule, because this water molecule having 2 times of rotations. Okay, so after 180 degree rotation, this is nothing but C2 first time rotation, that is C2-1, which gives at 180 degree rotation, this H1 change the position and H2 will change the position. So H1 is here and H2 is here. Okay. Again, I have to rotate my molecule at 180 degree. That is 180 degree and C2 second operation. Okay. C2 second operation. Then H1 is here and H2 is here. So this is nothing but the identity, means after 360 degree rotation, we get the same molecule, that is identical molecule. So the operations for this water molecule is identity and C2-1 and C2-2. But as identity is nothing but C2-2 operation, that's why there are only 2 unique operations, identity and C2-1. Okay, this is one of the example. Let's discuss with another example. Let's see with another example, that is BF3 molecule. Actually, what is meant by proper axis? Proper axis or principal axis is a type of symmetry element and by which rotation can be carried out and takes our molecule from one orientation to another orientation. So this is the BF3 molecule. This is F1, F2 and F3. Now, what is it? Now the next question is that where is the proper axis or principal axis? So obviously, as your BF3 molecule is in plane. Suppose here is your boron, here is your one fluorine, another fluorine and third fluorine. That is BF3 molecule is in plane and the principal axis or proper axis passes from this B, that is boron element. So this is your principal axis. And the degree of rotation is C. So what is the degree of rotation? As this boron contains 3 fluorine atoms, that's why this molecule carries the 3 different rotation. So C3 is its principal or proper axis. So let's see its operation, that is C3. But the question is that what is the degree of rotation? So as n is equal to 3, theta is equal to 120 degree. Okay. So theta is equal to 120 degree, means I have to rotate this molecule at 120 degree. So C3-1 and rotate this molecule at 120 degree. So see the positions at 120 degree, F1 is here, F2 is here and F3 is here. So these are the changes of molecule. Here is F1, F2 and F3. Again, I have to rotate this molecule at 120 degree. This is the C3. Now C3, second operation at 120 degree. Now see the positions of fluorines. So F1 is here, F2 is here, and F3 is here. So F1, F2 and F3. Still, I have to rotate this molecule at 120 degree. And the operation is C3, 3. And I will get the identical structure. Now F1 is here, F2 is here, and F3 is here. This is nothing but the identity. This operation, that is C3, 3 at 120 degree. This is nothing but the identical structure, that is identity. Okay, so this is nothing but the proper axis or principal axis about BF3 molecule. So let's see the last molecule, that is square planar molecule. Okay, so the next example is NiCN4, that is square planar geometry. Now CN1, CN2, CN3 and CN4. Now which is the principal axis? Here nickel contains 4 CN groups, that is 4 cyanide atoms. So consider this is nickel, this is one CN, CN1, CN2, CN3 and CN4. Means nickel along with all cyanide present in one plane. That's why the principal axis or proper axis passing from nickel, that is Ni. And as this Ni contains 4 cyanide ligands, so the degree of rotation is C4. That is the principal axis is 4, because 4 times rotation can be possible in this compound. So we get the same, that is identical molecule. So let's see the C4-1. But now the question is that what is the degree of rotation? 360 divided by 4 is equal to 90 degree. So we have to rotate this molecule at 90 degree. So C4 first operation at 90 degree. C1 is here, C2 is here, C3 is here and C4 is here, CN4 is here. So Ni, CN4, CN1, CN2 and CN3. Okay, this is the first operation, that is C4-1. The second operation, C4, that is second operation, C4 twice at 90 degree. Then the position of all the CN will change, that is C3 is here, CN4 is here, CN2 is here, 3, 4, CN1 is here and CN2 is here. Still I have to rotate this molecule at 90 degree and again at 90 degree. So C4, C4 third and at 90 degree. So I get Ni. Now CN2 is here, CN3, CN4 and CN1. Okay, so one operation is still remaining, C4, and the last operation, that is C44 at 90 degree, which gives the identical molecule. That is C1 is here, CN2 is here, CN3 is here and CN4 is here. This is nothing but the identity. That is at 360 degree rotation we get the identity. This is about the proper axis or principal axis. I again repeat what is meant by proper axis or principal axis. It is denoted by Cn. C means cyclic, N means order of rotation, and it is nothing but the type of symmetry elements through which or by which rotation can be carried out, which takes molecule at one orientation, from one orientation to another orientation. Okay, so let's see the third one, that is plane of symmetry. So the third symmetry element, plane of symmetry, and its operation is reflection. So what is meant by plane of symmetry? An imaginary plane passing through the molecule or passing through atom which cuts that molecule into two equal parts which are the mirror image. Okay, what is meant by plane of symmetry? An imaginary plane passing through the molecule which cuts that molecule into two equal parts which are the mirror images. There are three types of plane of symmetry. First one is sigma h, that is horizontal plane. Horizontal plane. Second one is sigma v, that is vertical plane. And the third one is sigma d, that is dihedral plane. These are the three different types of plane: horizontal plane, vertical plane and dihedral plane. Horizontal plane is denoted by sigma h. Sigma means plane and h for horizontal. Vertical plane is denoted by sigma v. Sigma means plane and v means vertical, while dihedral plane denoted by sigma d. Sigma means plane, d means dihedral. So what is the major difference between all these three planes? So first one, sigma h, that is horizontal plane. Horizontal plane, an imaginary plane passing through the molecule which is perpendicular to the principal axis. Okay, up to now we have seen the principal axis or proper axis. So a horizontal plane means an imaginary plane passing through the molecule which is perpendicular to the principal axis. Which is perpendicular to the principal axis. Next one, the vertical axis, that is sigma v. So what is the vertical axis or sigma v? An imaginary plane which either passes from or passing from the proper axis or principal axis, or which is parallel to the principal axis. So what is vertical axis? Vertical axis which is parallel to the principal axis, or that plane passing through the principal axis. And the last one is dihedral plane, an imaginary plane which bisects the subsidiary axis. Now the question is that what is meant by subsidiary axis? So the subsidiary axis is nothing but the secondary axis. I will show you later. So dihedral plane, an imaginary plane which is passing from, which bisects the subsidiary axis. Which bisects the subsidiary axis. Okay, these are the three different planes. Let's see with particular molecule. Let's see with one example, that is BF3 molecule. BF3 molecule, F1, F2 and F3. Let's see one by one, that is sigma h first. So horizontal plane, is it horizontal plane possible in BF3? Yes, horizontal plane is possible in BF3 molecule because sigma h, that is horizontal axis, means the plane which is perpendicular to the principal axis. So as your BF3, that is B, and all remaining three fluorines are in one plane, means your principal axis passing from this B and the proper axis or principal axis is C3. So as your molecule is planar, here in one fluorine, another fluorine and another fluorine, here is your boron and this is your principal axis. So if I am drawing if I am passing the plane which is perpendicular to this principal axis, yes, this plane is perpendicular to this principal axis which cuts this BF3 molecule into two equal parts and which gives the mirror images. Okay, so sigma h is possible. And remember one thing, the sigma h is possible in that molecule which that molecules are planar molecule. Okay, so BF3 is planar molecule, that's why sigma h, that is horizontal plane, is possible in this molecule. After passing the perpendicular plane with this BF3 molecule, we get the same structure, that is F1, F2 and F3. Okay, after sigma h, that is horizontal plane, F1 is here, F2 is here, F3 is here, means the molecule remains as it is because it cuts only two equal parts which are the mirror image of each other. Okay, only there is change, that is suppose this is your axis or suppose this is your principal axis, this is Z plus Z minus, this Z minus is above and this Z plus is above. So sigma H is possible in all planar compounds. Now let's see the sigma V. Is sigma V is possible in this compound? So sigma V means the plane which is parallel to the principal axis, sigma V. Okay, this is your BF3 molecule and this is your principal axis. Yes, if I am drawing the plane from this, an imaginary plane which is parallel to the principal axis, this plane is parallel to the principal axis. Suppose this is your principal axis, this is your BF3 molecule and I am drawing the plane like this or passing the plane like this which is parallel to the principal axis. Suppose this is your sigma V1 because in BF3 molecule 3 sigma V are possible, sigma V1, sigma V2 and sigma V3. So after operation with sigma V1, what will be the changes? So B and F1 remains as it is. There is no change with this sigma V1, only the positions of F3 and F2 will change. Here is F2 and here is F3. Okay, this is the sigma V1 operation. Next one is sigma V2 operation. Okay, sigma V2 means the plane which passing from 1B and F2. So if I am passing the plane like this, the positions of F3 and F1 will change while the position of B and F2 remains as it is. That is B, F2. Here is your F3, F1. This is sigma V2 operation and now sigma V3 operation. That is when I am passing the plane like this, that is from 1B and F3. So I will get B, F2 is here, F1 is here and B and F3 remains as it is. Okay, so these are about sigma V. So sigma V is possible in this BF3 molecule. There are 3 sigma V and sigma H is also possible in this molecule. Now the third plane, that is dihedral plane, that is sigma D. Is sigma D is possible in this compound? So let's see. Okay, let's think about sigma D. This is your molecule where the sigma V and sigma H is possible. Now there is a short trick to know whether the sigma D is possible or not. Sigma D. There are 2 chances, either sigma H is present or sigma H is absent. When the sigma D is present, either sigma H is present or sigma H is absent. When the sigma H is absent, that time sigma V is equal to sigma D. Sigma V is equal to sigma D. But in case of sigma H when present, and if the numbers are odd numbers and even numbers, this odd and even number means number of ligands attached to that central metal ion. So if the numbers are odd numbers, that is 3, 5, 7, that time sigma D is absent. And if the numbers are even, that is, for example, we have 4 ligands, that time 2 sigma D and 2 sigma V are present in that molecule. So simply from this trick, BF3 don't have sigma D. Okay, so BF3 only having sigma V and sigma H. So let's see the next and the last molecule, that is square planar geometry. Okay, so this is the complex which having square planar geometry. So as this platinum contains the 4 chlorine atoms, that's why the principal or proper axis is C4. Now we have to study either in this PTCl4 molecule sigma V, sigma H or sigma D is present or not or absent. Okay, so let's see the sigma H. This is your compound because platinum and all chlorine are in one plane. That's why this is your principal axis which is passes from this platinum, and I can draw this plane which is perpendicular to the principal axis, which cuts all this molecule into 2 equal parts which are the mirror image of each other. That's why sigma H is present in this molecule, and the molecule remains as it is, that is Cl1, Cl2, Cl3 and Cl4. Okay, so but there is a slight change. Here is Z plus and Z minus. So here is Z plus and Z minus. So sigma H is present in this molecule. Let's think about sigma V. Okay, sigma V, how many sigma V are present in this molecule? So I have to draw the plane like that, which is parallel to the principal axis. This is your principal axis and this is my plane, which is obviously parallel to this principal axis. So this is your first plane, that is sigma V1. Sigma V1. So as I am passing sigma V1 like this, so this Cl1, Cl3 and PT remains as it is. There only change in Cl2 and Cl4. Means PT, that is platinum, Cl1 remains as it is, Cl3 remains as it is. Only the position of Cl2 and Cl4 will change. Okay, so this is the sigma V1 operation. Sigma V2 operation. Sigma V2 operation means here the sigma V2 means Cl4, PT and Cl2 remains as it is. Only the positions of Cl1 and Cl3 will change. So PT, Cl3, Cl1, Cl2 as it is, Cl4 as it is. This is the sigma V2 operations. So in this molecule, there are two sigma V operations are possible and sigma H operation is possible. So let's see or let's think about sigma D. So this is your molecule Cl1, Cl2, Cl3 and Cl4. Now what is meant by sigma D? An imaginary plane which bisects the subsidiary axis. Okay. So this is your principal axis and these are your subsidiary axis, that is secondary axis. This is your secondary axis which passes from PT, Cl1, Cl3 and PT, Cl4, Cl2 and this is your principal axis. Okay, why I am choosing this is as a principal axis? Because it is vertical high order axis, because C4 is its order and if I am passing the axis from this, the order is only C2. Okay, so dihedral plane is possible? Yes. Sigma D1 is possible in this compound because these are the subsidiary axes and this is here sigma D1 which bisects this subsidiary axis. Okay, this plane is bisects this subsidiary axis, so which gives this plane, that is sigma D PT. Now the position of Cl3, Cl2, Cl4 and Cl1 will change. So Cl1 will here, Cl2 is here, Cl3 and Cl4. Okay, so this is nothing but the sigma D1 operation. Now here is also sigma D2 is present which bisects this subsidiary axis. This is sigma D2 which bisects this subsidiary axis, that is sigma D2. Now see, the positions of Cl1 and Cl4 will exchange. The position of Cl2 and Cl3 will exchange. So it gives Cl4 is in place of Cl1, here is Cl1, here is Cl2 and Cl3. Okay, so sigma D1 and D2 operation are possible in this compound. So in that trick we have already seen that as the number is even number, for example as the ligands are 4, 2 sigma D and 2 sigma V are present. Okay, so here 2 sigma D are present, 2 sigma V are present and sigma H is present. And these are the changes about the sigma V, sigma D and sigma H. Okay students, so the remaining two symmetry elements, that is center of inversion and improper axis of rotation, we'll see in next lecture.